Greetings, YouTube. Once again, happy Thursday. You know, items like this are so rare that really I feel like no matter what decision you make, there's always going to be some level of buyer's remorse. And I feel like Mystic is actually the class that has the highest chance of this because of one reason and one reason only. If Kabam decides in 2019, and maybe it'll be 2020, who knows, to finally release Scarlet Witch as a 5-star, then this item will suddenly become just an insane amount of value with that temptation to take the OG best champ in the game before patch 12.0. And I would still argue probably the champion that even after all the nerfs of patch 12.0 still retained their value the most as a 5-star would just be so much fun to play. But of course, right now, that is not a world that we live in. And so we are stuck in a good problem having a class that I would argue is now the second best class. The Mystic class used to be head and shoulders above the rest of the class in terms of the best champs. And I think that's partially why Kabam has only released one Mystic champ that will give it a really, really good Mystic champ in Symbiote Supreme in the past year and a half, because they knew all the other classes needed to catch up, especially the Science class. But I would actually argue that the best class in terms of overall champs is now Mutant. Mutant is just an insane amount of amazing champs that have retained their value over time, but also had some amazing new straight bangers of the Mystic, of the Mutant class, not the Mystic class. So here's the deal: when you go to rank up champions, and you look at my 5-star current roster for Mystic champs, we have essentially 5 nominees for this gem. And I have kind of switched my position earlier today, just a couple hours ago. I posted the cheat code for Act 6 Crossbones boss, Morningstar. A top option as an Alliance War attacker that as defenders get to be more difficult, particularly defenders like Korg, Morningstar's value has increased, and her utility has been shown even more so. But all the way back to the best power control champ in the game, one of the first champions ever released in this game, Magic, is still amazing. And I do have my Magic at Sig 100, which is pretty darn cool. I, of course, also have Symbiote Supreme unawakened for the time being, and my Symbiote Supreme is also a top rank 5 option, even with that very distracting moving eyeball in his chest. Then, on top of that, even though I think this is probably the least likely, a couple of people said, Prof, you bring Ghost Rider into everything, and I want you to know that a lot of people say don't rank 5 your Ghost Rider. Well, my Ghost Rider is also unawakened, but he's at rank 5, and he is one of my MVPs in everything. And so, even though I know Ghost Rider kind of hits, as the community likes to say, like a wet noodle, he still has to be in the discussion for rank 5 champ with that gem. Now, I feel like the 2 honorable mentions, Dr. Voodoo is probably, on paper, just like Ghost Rider, a champ you wouldn't think about, but I've had some people reach out to me and say, Prof, people don't understand the regeneration power of a rank 5 Dr. Voodoo, and they also don't understand just how good of utility you have between the power drain and also, of course, turning in that Spirit Venom against the opponent. So, there are some Dr. Voodoo heads, and Dr. Voodoo, like Ghost Rider, like Magic, looks to never, or at least for a long time, not be released as a 6-star. And when people say, Prof, you got to take your own advice, don't be a hypocrite, I did make an entire video over how most 5-stars that aren't available as 6-stars are still better options to take at up to rank 5 than to take a average or even above average 6-star to rank 2. And then, last but certainly not least, you've got Morningstar, a champ that, unfortunately, I do not have the Tier 2 alphas right now to take to rank 4, but I'm halfway there. And I've got the Mystic Catalyst, and I also have the Tier 1s. So I could take Morningstar to rank 4 and then use the gem to take her straight to rank 5, and I should be getting the Tier 2 alphas in the next month or so that won't be a huge issue. I also think that this Morningstar, as referenced in the video that I posted today, thanks to McLeod33, could save me a insane amount of revives on the Act 6 Crossbones, which is extremely relevant to the overall health of not using too many units in the game for my account. And then you've got the biggest question mark of all. You have whether or not, as I said at the beginning of this video, my favorite personally, Mystic Champ, still to this day, just for the amount of fun that you can have playing with her, you know who I'm talking about. It is Miss Scarlet Witch is released as a 5-star. But the question becomes, even if that's the case, especially for someone like Crossbones, because I still wouldn't take a 5-star Scarlet Witch into a Crossbones fight with that biohazard, and the issues with having your power drained every time there's a special fired off. Morningstar and maybe even Symbiote Supreme still hold better utility value. And then on top of that, I have a separate question because I'm being greedy. When I ask the community for input, I always like to ask as much information as possible in the time allotted to the video. I've also got this generic 5-star Awakening Gem, which I've been saving since Cyber Monday, and I could use it on Symbiote Supreme. On top of that, it is worth noting that when it comes to Mystic 5-star signature stones, I not only have almost 100 of the +1 class-based, but I also have saved over from the Greater Gifting Crystals 4 +5s, so that would be an additional 20 SIGs added to the Mystic Champ. This means I could take Magic up to SIG 200, right? Or this means that I could awaken Symbiote Supreme and immediately take him up to SIG 110. Or it just means that I can be patient and do none of that and wait for Scarlet Witch. I am somebody that uses polls every now and then in videos to try to get you awesome geniuses of the community to have your input. I will wait a couple days and then I will calculate and do a post video about the community's response as far as the percentage of who voted for what. But basically, as a reminder, it's between 5 or 6 champs that I need your help on. So if you have a thought on this, please comment below and let me know. I always appreciate your input, especially on a video with such a precious rank 4 to rank 5 rank up gem. So thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a great day. And as I said in my last video, if you're going for Nick Fury in the arena, good luck, stay hydrated. Remember, the sun does exist.